It's hard to prove, right? So this is more of a supposition than a historical fact, but I suspect that the reason the west of Scotland and Scotland in general is so obsessed with westerns and was so obsessed with westerns in, right from the kind of post First World War period up until pretty recently, must have something to do with the memory of the Buffalo Bill tour being such a massive tour, being such a pervasive tour, going to all these small towns and so forth. You have to wonder why people in a small northwestern corner of Europe, right, are so obsessed with cowboys and Indians. And I think you can imagine that someone who, for example, took their children to see the Buffalo Bill show, those children would grow up and then take their own children to see the first westerns coming out. And you can imagine there's a kind of trace memory or a link there. There's a link there between those moments, that somehow solidifies that in their culture, somehow makes that more resonant with them than it might have been. Which is why, for example, we don't have Spanish films. We don't have films about Spanish conquistadors or anything else. It's the westerns. Why is that? Well, I think there's something about that impact of actually seeing live horses, live American Indians, cowboys doing their stuff in your hometown, right in front of you, that lasts for decades and lasts for generations and does cross that. So I suspect there's something about that. There's something about that, those particular series of events that solidifies the very odd case of the Western as being such a big part of the culture here.